So, as a Necromancer, what do we need first? Um, First, let's start with the skills, alright? I think we start with 10. For leveling, best thing to go with is Blood Search with this here, Supernatural Blood Search. So we're gonna pick some skill, since Blood Search is kind of delete screen skill, which is better for leveling than Bow Spear. And how I know this? I played Necromancers, like pretty much every kind of Necromancer there is out there. I've been playing. How I did this, let's see now. I created several Necromancers, which I would have easy respects through to a Necromancer from the same school of magic, right? Let's say we have here bone skills, blood skills, and shadow skills, alright? Darkness skills, I mean, I'm sorry. So, uh, it was very easy, for example, to respec a Blood Search Necromancer to a Blood Lance Necromancer, alright? Because it's the same school of magic, and pretty much the Paragon is very similar, the rest of the skills are very similar. I'm talking about the end game, of course. Same goes for Shadow. Maybe just you change a couple of aspects, couple of Paragon nodes, and everything else stays the same. So if you go, for example, with Rip and Sever, it's quite easy to just respec and, for example, switch to Decompose and Blight, or whatever you want to use, and everything will be pretty much the same, right? Same goes for Bone Spear, because there's no other bone skill here, but you can pretty much go with different parts of Macabre and probably every part of Corruption, like Curses and Corpse skills. Corruption pretty much does well with anything. I think my favorite was with the Quad Corruption Sever Reaper, right? If it makes sense. But, okay, how do we start? We can start, for example, with Read, because it generates courses we can use for Corpse Explosion, and also to further fortify. So we can also start with Hemorrhage. It's an amazing skill. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a really good I don't know, like how to say this. It has some kind of weird animation lock, which happens every now and then for whatever reason, and sometimes it's not very convenient. What's cool about it is the splash damage it can do. So depending on how endangered you feel, you can go either with it or with Reap. Or if you want to fight mostly from distance, because Blood Surge also deals, it's less damage, but still it's enough to pretty much kill everything in the distance. You can start with Bone Splinters and Blood Surge, that could also work, no matter how crazy it sounds. And this would be to like level 35, 36-ish, so you don't need like um, legendary powers, or unless they drop, of course. Okay, let's say we pick Reap, and this is like the way to go. For example, as soon as you get there, you get these two things, and probably also this. Why this? Because we have like two darkness skills here. This one generates corpses for us, provides attack speed, damage reduction, and this way also by utilizing the blighted corpse explosion early on, it does more damage, right? And we keep on pumping on blood surge. We can use 1.2 hued flesh here, because probably at this point corpse explosion would destroy everything. And before you go with the blighted one, you will notice that when you generate corpses, this will be your most powerful skill initially. For some reason, it's just insanely powerful early on. And the other thing to do here is manage to get resource. We don't care about this to like increase 3% damage at least initially. When we get here, care about Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, and especially the High Star Iron Maiden, because it will make us gain essence, alright, and then make us heal. So now we delete screen with blood surge, we heal, we generate essence. We have to start thinking about okay, this maybe more to blood surge. We have to max it out eventually. So when we get here, we care a lot about this thing here and the movement speed, because we know the man Necromancer is incredibly slow. So we fight with 2 darkness skills, and this will provide movement speed. Okay, damaging enemies with darkness skills increases your movement speed. By this time, you also probably have movement speed on the boots and movement speed on the amulet. If you don't, try to get them as soon as possible. So movement speed, how it helps, it's not really that much of an important stat, but if you move faster, you clear faster, you progress faster. I know 15% it's not much, but let's put it in like hours, right? And you get the idea, it's much faster. And by this time you should get a good two-handed weapon dealing like some 300 or 400 damage maybe, and you just walk and spam the Iron Maiden to get essence and heal, and Blood Surge to heal and delete the screen. Right? This could also work. When you get here, now this is like the interesting part here. At this point, you can keep pumping Blood Surge, and when you get here, you can use, for example, Blood Wave for Bone Storm to get additional damage reduction and critical strike chance. Just an example. And then keep pumping Blood Surge. Alright, enough is enough. Might want to keep progressing here. If you want to keep playing, if you like how this feels already, you can pump out this, for example, more damage, this more damage, this more damage here. And probably also this is very important, but okay, we are too far already. Level 41. We should probably even stop like 5 levels below this, alright? So let's say we are level whatever 30. Let's use this for example, 36. All right, 36. 36 is like the point where you can probably already go do the capstone, but it's also about this time where you will have to respect to actually something else. I think this will be much faster, so just clear everything. But why? So, how we start here first. I'll explain the respec a bit later and why it's faster. So, when we start in Kiowa Shot, we go out do some of these events. And why do the events in Fractured Peaks? Because Fractured Peaks is very rich of Gallowine, and Gallowine is something that you will need to get your first armor elixirs to further improve your defenses and gain more XP. Right after you get this, you should be about level 5 or 6 at this point. It's really like there's a lot of ways to progress from here. For example, one of the very good ways at a later stage is, okay, let's move. Let's talk about this later. But from the main city, Serigar. Okay, let's just increase this map. So here, for example, Kiowa Shot, going out, doing event or two, no more. To get some Gallowine, go get like 2 elixirs, and you have an hour of elixirs. So with this hour of elixirs, where is it? Okay, Souls Clan, Serigar. Starting from here, do you see this chain of events? So going out of Serigar, right? And either this way, because here we have like shrines, going out this way, doing this. Let's mark it, okay? Going out, doing this, this, and this event, then this event, and going straight to the domain tunnels. So why would we want to do this? All right, let me clear everything here. Okay, why would we want to go here? We are a necromancer, and this is sorcerer dungeon to get sorcerer aspect. Well, you remember during season 1 when I was playing and I played the domain tunnels as a nightmare dungeon, I noticed the insane amount of mob density. You can just do the first part, leave the dungeon, reset it, enter again. It's much faster than walking around in the open world. Which, by the way, in Season 2 it would be very useful to as well do, because the seasonal mechanic and seasonal story and the seasonal events would be out in the open world. And we'll probably go there every now and then to get the the seasonal resources, which we're gonna use for further improving our build, right? So about how much times to run the domain tunnels? Maybe about level 25. And why about level 25? After level 25, we're gonna actually start needing the aspects for our respec and for our current situation. Why? And which are those aspects? Alright, let's see now. We're gonna need here aspect of might to further improve the damage reduction provided by our basic skill aspect of the protector. Okay, protector. So when we meet elites and when we damage them, we get barrier. This can also go on the pants, and depending on which item, like the pants or the armor, have the higher item power. Why is this important? Because this aspect works like this: if your item has higher item power, it gets you more barrier value, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's on the pants or on the chest. Let's say the armor has, the chest piece has higher item power, that's why I put it on the chest. And the other thing here on the pants, disobedience. Disobedience provides armor when damaging stuff, okay? And for the boots, there's a new aspect here. You gain 20% movement speed. Lose this bonus for whatever seconds after taking damage. Right? This would be insanely good because you'll be moving faster all the time unless you take damage. And for example, in towns or out in the open world, you generally move faster, and when you get hit, you basically stand still and cast skills and deliver damage. So who cares, right? That you will lose this movement speed when you can also evade. This, I think, great addition, and probably you'll be able to imprint this aspect on the boots right after level 25 when the occultist unlocks. Okay, it probably is gonna be a seasonal. If it's not, if it's drop only, we can use whatever, something for movement speed, like okay, movement. There was, what was it called? Not Ghost Walker, and this one, Wind Striker aspect. This is usually what was used here, unless you're like Darkness Necromancer, which it's better to utilize the, where is it? This one. At this point, we're talking about the point after level 25, 30, 30 something. Okay. Let's move on. So, where is it? Right. Here on the rings, we'll need the regen. This is aspect of torment. Is that it? Yeah. Critical strike with bone skills. Then we're gonna need the edge master, I think. Edge master, yeah. And those are also those are actually also aspects for pretty much, they work great in mid game, late game, and end game. You probably won't gonna I'm gonna change them, just imprint them on better gear, right? On the weapon, which is gonna be a two-handed sword, especially while using Blood Surge, you want to deliver more damage, right? We're gonna put the grasping veins. Why on the weapon? Because it will provide more critical strike and more damage to enemies which are affected by corpse tendrils. So, because this season we won't have, the heart, which will automatically cast the corpse tendrils for us. This can actually also go as well on the amulet, right? Grasping veins. Alright. And here we get the splintering aspect. And on the gloves, the problem with the gloves is that we need here for the end game a drop only aspect, and what I found better to work here is actually depending on the current need. So if you notice you need to attack faster, you can use the one for attack speed. If you notice you need more damage, you can use, for example, when using basic skill, increase damage or whatever drops. But sacrificial aspect seems to do the job quite nicely. 50% increase of sacrifices, right? Let's talk about sacrifices indeed, and those things, right? So while doing Blood Search, Ruby is best. Ruby is always best in armor since the changes for the what was it? The CC changes, right? For jewelry we use armor or a resistance that we're gonna need, right? Depending on what we're fighting. Okay, so initially not using sacrifices, actually using skeletons to like level 10 is okay, maybe a bit further, but until the point to get all the skills, like to fill the skill bar, we're gonna drop skeletons and start sacrificing them for more critical strike damage initially, and here for maximum essence, and here for more life, right? More life. But when we get to, where is it, skill 3, when we get here to corpse tendrils, we can use vulnerable. We can then switch to, where is it, critical strike damage. Yeah, actually it's this one, increased critical strike damage. This after level 25, where we can get the occultist and the golem quest. Alright. Initially we'll be able to use actually this, and on the higher levels we can switch. Attack speed would be great initially, like at level 25-6, after doing this golem quest. It's kind of a slow progression already, but still. So let's talk about the respec. We're going with bone splinters, bone spear, and using to make the first enemy vulnerable, like if that suits. We will need at least 2 sources of vulnerable, right? And this is good to use before getting corpse tendrils, alright? So actually we're not leveling this way, and when we get this aspect, splintering aspect, we're going to respec it. Counting as much as possible on killing the enemy from the returning splinters, right? We're gonna need a lot of this. 1 point here, as much points as possible here, and then we're gonna use the Grapefly. The Grapefly because it's resetting our cooldowns, and we're gonna need those cooldowns. This a lot, this, and vulnerable. right? And the other thing we can use here is actually Bomb Prison with Fortify. Why? Because when we use the corpse tendrils and then throw a Bomb Prison, it will fortify us. And we're usually fighting enemies from distance now already, from further distance. It's actually not a good idea to go see them. Here we're gonna pump everything to evolution, then those things, oops, wait. And as soon as possible we get ossified essence, alright? Probably not gonna use storm, because we use prison, fight from distance. How does bone storm help? It doesn't help. And since it's hardcore, you probably noticed we're not using blood mist. Why? Because we're a necromancer. You are the enemy's worst nightmare. You should not even let them touch you or see you or them to understand what is happening to them while they are slowly dying. So, we are not some kind of pussy which is gonna turn into a blood mist and run away, right? We are a powerful necromancer. Don't forget this. You are a powerful necromancer. You don't need to run away. Okay. What else? 22 points. Wow, where do we start? So, from here. The problem here is, okay, we forgot to pump the bone spear. Something useful here is to also pump the corpse tendrils, right? Because this will reduce the cooldown. Still have points. What did I do? Oh, okay, I have this. This thing, unfortunately, is kinda weird to work with because it will reduce our damage reduction when using Bone Prison, right? Because Bone Prison is minions. But we don't really care about this because when there's a Bone Prison, the enemies will be fighting the Bone Prison. So we're probably not gonna take much damage at this point. And I think this is how the build pretty much is complete. Yeah. This is how I see it playing. Okay. And yeah, Hued Flash. We can go with more on Hued Flash, like reduce this. Let's see about the powers here. First, we check what is there for life. Okay. Attacks deal damage. We basically do a lot of damage. We will need this barrier. Okay. Because we will be standing still. We'll be standing still when casting skills. So I will not set them in any kind of priority, but damage reduction while missing life. We don't want to miss life. When you kill an enemy, fortify for base life. Okay, yeah, and more critical strike. Heal? There was something about healing. Yeah. Attacks deal 80% of your maximum life as physical damage to nearby enemies. This can only occur once every 4 seconds. You heal for 1% of your maximum life. Excuse me, for each enemy damage this way. This goes here. Do we have body? Let's see. Something else for life. Undying. What's this? Casting skills heals you for... Okay, amazing. Double this bonus below 50% life. Alright. Sounds fair. This could also be useful if you want to play a Blood Necromancer so for whatever fucked up reason. Especially if you find the... What was it called? Something dead. This untimely death. Each percent of your maximum life you heal beyond 100% increases the next overpower attack. So probably gonna be very useful for this. And why we're not playing the Blood Necromancer further? Because Blood Surge I leveled up one Necromancer to level 100 only with Blood Surge, right? And the maximum damage I think I could get was about 2-3 millions, which is eh, very, very, very terrible damage. It's okay for dungeons, but this is where it ends. Okay, let's see what else. If you notice, actually, this is kind of a tribute to the Necromancer from Diablo 2, right? Do you notice? It has Decrepify and Bone Prison and Bone Spear and Corpse Explosion. Ta-da! Diablo 2. And you know what? It works. It deletes everything in the game. Yeah, no wonder there. Okay. Classic. And there's probably something we want to change here. Instead of essence, we might go with more damage to vulnerable. That's pretty much depending on need, because this kind of necromancer, it's a lot of essence, and depending what you need more essence to like shoot one additional bone spear, or more damage to vulnerable. If you need more damage, just use this, right? And at this point we need increased damage from critical strike. So what we notice here, this Necromancer is very heavily offensive already. Let's go with more powers. Do we even have to? Let's see what's there about reduction. Ultimate skill we don't need, we don't use, we are not a close fighter. Channeling, no. Damage reduction for each life you're missing. This could actually help, but at very, very, very high Nightmare Dungeon tiers, when this would actually make sense. And especially combined with damage reduction to injured, which may sound absurd on hardcore, it actually helps, because for some whatever fucked up reason, when you start to deal with content which is more than 15 levels above you, you're gonna have problems, you're gonna get injured. And damage reduction while injured, and with this, would probably a good idea, and actually using a shield instead of two-handed weapon, which is going to be a bit problematic for our Paragon board. And but we'll try to solve this through all stats or plus to some kind of stat. Okay. So not putting this, do we have some kind of crowd control that we can use? I think there was slow terror. Yeah, maybe this will help. When something hits you, it can be slowed. If it's a boss, it will get increase in the stagger bar. You are guaranteed to critical strike enemies who are feared. Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see now. Something else. There was something about curse, but I think it was more. It was better for the darkness necromancer, right? Chance or vampiric curse. Enemies with a vampiric curse have 50% chance to spread blah blah. A curse souls. Still, do we need a curse souls? We can check that. We'll see. I don't know how it would actually play, but it will be something similar to the corpse explosion, which is generated from excuse me, howl from below. Alright. Okay. Hitting an enemy with a basic skill attack speed. Okay, nice. Stacking up to 5 times. Reaching maximum stacks, you enter a vampiric blood rage, gaining basic skill damage and movement speed. We definitely need that. It's critical strike, no, attack speed, movement speed. We need to be fast in general. So critical, vulnerable at this point, and attack speed are our main priorities. Because we are weak of defensively, we should not pretty much let anything touch us. Let's go over the Paragon. Paragon is very simple and doing probably gonna go like previous seasons. Why did I not pick intelligence here? As much as it's important, we'll probably get like at least three to 400 more intelligence in general compared to every other stat, and we're gonna need as much as other stat, non-main stats from the Paragon board, so we can actually get the bonuses from those nodes here. Okay, so going up for intelligence, dex, we can get our glyph here. Probably here it's best to use something which will provide bonuses to the nodes around. I would say amplify or whatever we find initially, to be honest. But we're gonna need on this spot and probably one more, actually two more, uh, amplify, and it's with intelligence, which is at least initially easy to get. Okay, let's see now. Dex, this. At first, you might wanna get some other stuff here, right? Like some other nodes in order to be able to get the requirements for this bonus. So we get 20 here. Let's say this is lower level, alright? Let's say it's level 1. And we're gonna get 20 here, 25, 30. I'm probably gonna use those two, alright? Or maybe this one. Yeah, this one and this one. And we can go with the dex here instead of the int, which would be also helpful. Then, moving on up here to bone graft. This is the main and most important board. Let's see, I'm gonna rotate it a bit. Now, first we immediately go and get here our essence, okay? Probably this essence and essence on kill will be very important initially, while still we're having problems with resource, and at this point we should be able to also get the exposed flesh. Yeah, okay. Okay, I equipped it. Alright. I hope just this combination won't be hard to get. uh, we'll see how it plays. Paragons, okay. Then we're gonna get our legendary power here. Come on. Yeah, something like that. And then straight up get more damage here as much as possible. Why I'm not aiming for the glyph yet? Because it's not that much needed. Alright, and from here now we can actually go to the glyph. Alright. Okay, going for the glyph. Let's place, for example, control. No, we need actually something to give us more damage here. For example, where was it? Corporeal. Bonus to magic nodes. Okay, so we are getting also these magic nodes. It requires intelligence. Let's see if we can get this intelligence. Right. This is. It won't be very hard to get, alright, because we have intelligence here, intelligence here, intelligence here, intelligence here. So, oh, we also have intelligence here, right? It's 20. Okay, let's switch it to a lower level just to see how much it is. Corporeal. We're gonna need Corporeal to another slot later, so leveling it up in advance would help a lot. And it will provide additional damage. And because it also boosts the magic nodes to provide defense and even more damage, right? So, let's see. We have 10, 15, 20, right? 20. And 20 here, which is enough, 40. It is. This glyph does not provide additional bonus like per node, but it's only. You only need to reach to 40, you don't need more than 40, okay? So, what are we gonna do next? Moving on this side, right? What's up now? And we're gonna need Flesh Eater, okay? Flesh Eater, and it's actually rotated, I think, exactly the way we need it, no? Oh, yeah, cool. No, wait, no, it's not Flesh Eater, my bad. Um, no. Where is it? Scent of Death. Alright, Scent of Death, but it will have to be rotated a bit. At least that's how I would go about it. When I noticed the strength node here, I realized that I picked the wrong board. Anyway, and probably gonna go something like this. Okay, let's take the damage here. Actually, first this one and the crits. Then we're gonna move on here. Then take these damages to healthy. And now we can go for the glyph, which at this point should be, where is it, corporeal? Okay. To get the intelligence here, intelligence, and the armor. And this also provides bonuses to the nodes around here, which will get us the additional very needed armor that we're gonna need. So then moving on down, probably not this way around, but okay, let's see. We're gonna get some more damage. Alright, more damage. Well, first this one, then this one. Then we're gonna get some more life and shadow resistance, and the idea here is so we can use, let's check it here. If we have two different rings, for example, one for cold and fire and one for oh, it's gonna be for all resistance now, right? So what we have to aim to do is not to get shadow resistance on the rings, because we can easily get it with life on the paragon. All right. Now moving on. This is the very tricky part here, to get some additional armor. We can get this node instead of this node. It doesn't really matter. It has to be some kind of node which will allow us to go out there. And from here, we have two easy exits. Alright, so let's remove this one for now. We have really easy exit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and as you can see, there's an easy way to get either more willpower or either more dexterity here, or either more intelligence if needed. Okay, whatever is needed. It's a very good spot. But before we proceed here, we're gonna go get ourselves something a bit more important. Alright? We're moving first this way to get Flesh Eater. Okay, let's rotate it a bit. We need here the damage to elites. Alright, just straight forward, forward, forward. Okay. And here we're gonna put essence. Essence, okay. More critical. And we are easily going to provide the dexterity needed. That's it. Then we're going here for those nodes for more critical and for the legendary power. And at this point you will have to be able to learn corpse explosion the proper way, because you're gonna have to explode those corpses on your own, alright? It's not gonna be automatic this season. And moving on. Oh, by the way, when you get those glyphs to level 15, as soon as they're 15, start leveling the rest of the glyphs by the way progressing. This is why first they placed the... okay, I forgot to add another one here. Where is it? Int. We have, for example, control. Control is a good one to use here. Or for example, something with dexterity, we can use exploit here with a slight modification, right? Because we can get dexterity here. That's that would be 14. But I think it's better to use something which will provide bonuses to the nodes here. For example, move the amplify here. Amplify. And what do we have here? Exploit. Okay, we can use here the vulnerable. It was again for dex, right? No. Wait. Gravekeeper, for example, or exhumation. This could also help. Probably not here, though. Gravekeeper. We can use the exhumation to further fortify, but since we're doing it on kill, not sure it's gonna be very useful. I think it would be better to use it for a shadow necromancer. Alright. So sacrificial could work here, or grave. Where is it? Gravekeeper. Okay. Gravekeeper would require dex though, so we can like get rid of those things, of course. We might not use this one. Armor always stays. Okay. So how much dex we have? This is 14. It provides bonus to rare nodes. So 14, 19 plus 5, 24. So we can use one more. Whichever, doesn't really matter. Alright. We can keep the amplify here, so it will provide bonuses to okay, it will provide bonuses to this dexterity, so we're probably not gonna need this dexterity here, because we have 10 here and 14 here, and when it provides the bonuses, that should be more than enough. And the curse skill is something that we're gonna use a lot. Okay, let's see now what else. And here we're gonna need bloodbath. Why bloodbath? Because it's really cool here for dexterity. Let's rotate it. It's really cool for dexterity glyph. There it is. And we can either pick either of those, like depending on which one we need for getting the additional bonuses. And we can get, for example, exploit, and get as well the dexterity needed. That should be more than enough. We can get those nodes here, and maybe, okay, let's see now. That's basically it. Let's start sacrificing. Essence on kill, we're probably not gonna need this at this point. Resource will not be a problem. Yeah. I think that's like the most of it. If we sacrifice something, let's say whatever is not as much needed, we can get more life, I think, the way it was structured. Okay, let's see. There's more life here and more damage. That should be more than enough. Alright, 7. We need more here, actually, one more. And one more for the other life. This one would be enough. Okay, 14 and 15 is 29. We need 25. There, I don't remember now. I think there's something could be sacrificed here. Not sure what, but definitely could. Okay, let's see. This provides bonus to rare. What? 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 We can get rid of 15. Okay. Know what? That's 150. So this will be. This could be enough dex. Maybe we can reduce damage here, or here, or here. Doesn't really matter, you know? Yep. So we can sacrifice it and get more life. So that concludes the Paragon board, which looks kind of funny, like a deer. Oh wow, you see that? Never mind. Okay. So about the aspects now, like let's get back to that part. One of the aspects that we need is gonna be here. The other one is gonna be here. And another one down here after level 30 something. There's a good chain of events here. You can go like do this event and do this event, and when you come back here this event will be reset. Go do this event and then go back to this event and it will be reset. If you want to have fun with events, that's a cool place to do that. And here we're gonna get this also very important aspect. And that pretty much concludes it. Oh yeah, there's one more here, House of the Damned, and one in Hauser, which was around here somewhere. Wait, where's Serigar? What am I doing? Where is this? Main city, come on. Yeah, okay, Zarzimbet, I'm sorry. Zarzimbet, it was here, I think, yeah, sacrifice. So, when we get the serration aspect, we can remove this sacrificial aspect. Yep, serration. And why put it on the gloves, right? Because on the gloves you need the damage, you need the crit, and it's easier to get best in slot gloves. And because this is a drop only aspect, I think it's the best thing to do is put it on the gloves, because you will change your weapon the most, you will probably constantly change most of the other things, but the gloves, it's like one of the most important items to focus on, and it would be really easy if you just put a drop only aspect on the gloves. It's just gonna stay there. And I know it will provide very like better bonuses if you put it on the amulet or on the weapon, but on the weapon you have something which is not conditional. You just, that's your main skill to fight with, and on the amulet that would be something somewhat conditional. So it's a good idea to swap those later on when you already have resources, and are pretty sure, for example, the amulet is your best in slot amulet. Let's check out the gear affixes now, which will be really useful. Before we get the deathless visits, or yeah, deathless visits or shako, for example, we can use something which will provide life. Okay, maximum life, total armor, something like Decrepify, because it's a skill we're gonna... What? Decrepify, it's a skill we're using. And also Essence, okay, maximum Essence. We can use either Decrepify or cooldown reduction. Cooldown, okay? Whichever happens, but if you get ranks of Decrepify, Decrepify will provide additional bonus to damage reduction and slow enemies even further. Chest piece, total armor. I know it will be hard to get, but damage reduction, damage reduction, damage reduction from close enemies, and damage reduction from distant enemies. You can sacrifice damage reduction from close and, for example, get life, maximum life. Okay, gloves, bone spear, bone spear, critical strike, chance, and attack speed. And the most important thing here, restore resource, lucky hit. Okay, pants, same as chest. It's as long as you get 4 defensive stats on the chest piece and on the armor piece, you probably won't have any problems. I don't really get why they have offensive stats on these armor pieces, but it's armor, right? You need to protect yourself because you're gonna take damage no matter what. Doesn't really matter how good you are. The Necromancer is slow, and when you deal with lots of enemies, things will happen. You will get damaged no matter what. If you only fight them from very far and utilize Bomb Prison well enough, you might not take as much damage. Okay, and let's see now. Pants, same. Total armor because of disobedience. Damage reduction. Damage reduction. Damage reduction from distant and life. You can get here damage reduction from close. Okay, close. Damage reduction from close. Same goes here. Close. Those are not that hard to get. I pretty much got on all my characters something similar about damage reduction, total armor, or life, or something protective. Boots. Movement speed, essence cost reduction, dodge chance, and tendrils. Tendrils to reduce the cooldown. We can also get fortify here instead of tendrils initially, but in general tendrils very useful here. Or this dodge chance is very helpful here, but we can go with intelligence instead. Amulet, movement speed, essence cost reduction, and here we're gonna use evolution. What? Evolution and cooldown reduction. So instead of evolution, we can get here. Where is the skill 3? Instead of evolution, we can get any of those, or for example, this one here. But this will eat your essence a lot and will reduce your damage from the. Where is it? This Edge Master. Okay. So it will be better to have the evolution because it will constantly increase the damage without taking too much essence, or it won't be as conditional as those, alright? Serration, it's not possible to have it actually here. Compound fracture could also work, right? But we definitely need to focus on cooldown as much as possible, so we can constantly push tendrils. Okay. Ring life, maximum life on both life. I'm gonna need essence at least on one of them. Crit damage, critical strike damage, damage with bone, crit with bone. Let's fill another bucket here. Let's fill physical damage because it's physical damage. Lucky hit to generate corpses. Okay, it's very helpful. And anything goes, like crit chance, for example, or more damage, or more essence, whatever feels most needed. Weapon, very easy, all stat, main stat, and it's gonna be a sword, alright, because we're gonna be healing so much. Okay. Core skill and vulnerable or some kind of crit, doesn't matter, whatever damage. Best would be to provide vulnerable because you're with every cast you're making enemies vulnerable, and it would be better to fill different damage buckets than critical strike because we already have here we are filling here physical damage, critical with bone, critical. So it's better to have something else. Vulnerable, it's a good idea. Or we can have it here, vulnerable. But those are like best in slot stuff, okay? And when we get rid of this helm to get the Deathless Visage, right? For example, let's say we have this one. We have to aim to get it with as much essence as possible. The other things would still matter here, but as we can see, it will provide also damage, crit with bone, and damage reduction instead of total armor, which is, you know, hopefully better. I think that's basically it. Let's talk about high nightmare dungeon pushing. We're gonna need here Hammerage most probably to help fortify, and everything else stays the same. Okay, might wanna switch to more life, and we might wanna go here with a shield. Okay, shield. Um, Let me think about the shield. Life, maximum life, damage reduction, damage reduction, damage. Where is the damage reduction? mostly from distant. Damage reduction from close or when fortified. You should not let enemies be close at this point, but still something might jump over us, you know. And probably also essence cost reduction. I think that's pretty much basically it. We can go with many other options, even the unique item. Let's see now what kind of aspect. Because it's gonna be a shield, we won't be able to use whatever this says. I think it's only utility, and it's not only class specific. Okay, let's see. Barrier? Where is it? Okay. No. There was something about the barrier. No. No. Very weird. Why? Okay. Chance to ignore? No. This won't work on a shield, it's defensive. Helm, chest, pants. Shield, okay. Shield amulet. Ignore incoming direct damage. Yeah, this will definitely help. So I guess that's it. That's the theory of the how I will approach season 2, pretty much. And let's get rid of this now and play. Alright?